This is a regular Lego propeller piece. It's definitely not meant to fly, but with only Lego pieces, I'm gonna make a contraption that can literally make it fly. No joke. Just like with this piece, I'm gonna see how many Lego pieces I can get to fly. This is gonna be insane and probably a little dangerous. Let's do this. So a lot of you are probably wondering how I'm even gonna get this fast enough to get any lift, and I'm gonna do that with gear ratios. We can put a big gear on here and then put a small gear right next to it, then lock it together. All right, now you can just put a peg on this side and a little crank on the other side. All right, so since this gear has 40 teeth and this smaller one only has 8 teeth, that means that every one turn on this is 5 turns on the smaller one. So just like that, it's already going way faster than I'm actually cranking. So now we just need to duplicate this a couple times and put the propeller on top. All right, there we go. I added 2 more layers so you can see there's a big gear down here, and then it spins another big gear, and then there's another big gear up top. So I don't want to do the math on all this. Someone in the comments can probably tell you, but just from looking at it, that is much faster. So now you're probably wondering how we're going to attach the propeller, and you might notice that it actually has a pinhole instead of an axle hole. So I got this piece that's a peg on this side and then an axle on this side, so we can put that in there. And then there should be enough friction that it won't spin, but as you can see, I can just hold this in place and spin the propeller. So it can spin freely from it, which might be an issue, but I guess we'll find out. So yeah, now on the axle, we can just put a small gear, and then that can just sit right there. And now, let's go try it. All right, put it in front of a white wall, so hopefully you can tell when it takes off. So first I gotta see which way we need propulsion. So this way, the way that the propellers are, it's pushing down, which is not what we want. We wanna spin it the other way. Okay, here we go. Yo, it went off for a second. Did you see that? So it's super hard to crank. The higher gear ratios you go, the harder it is to move, but it did take off for a second there. Yo, did I get that on recording? Yo, it's wild. It's just a normal Lego propeller too. Okay, I got it in this wide open area so you guys can see the entire flight. Boom. Flew. All right, so a propeller with 3 blades works really well, but what if we use one with 4? So these blades are the exact same shape as this one, except they can be combined and make a propeller with 4 blades. These are actually older pieces. So since these ones actually have an axle, I can just put a regular axle through it, add a gear, and we're good to go. So using 4 blades is always gonna be heavier than using 3, so we'll see how this turns out. Whoa, I didn't even have to push it that much. All right, let's try it again. It's a top now. That one didn't like fly very much. It just lifts itself up enough to get over, and then it won't go up anymore. Oh shoot, bro, am I breaking my piece? Did you hear that? I think we're good. The lever just slid off of the axle. So I'm gonna temporarily remove the lever and replace it with a wheel just to see if this is easier to crank and fast enough to crank to actually get this thing lift. So let's try it. So I think in general, the 4-bladed did about the same as the 3-bladed, or even a little worse, because just from like holding these right now, I can feel the weight difference. It's definitely a lot heavier, and I can't get it spinning fast enough to like go a decent amount above. It'll just spin and then barely come out and then go. Like, come on, it's gotta go like up. But maybe one of the next propellers will. So I mean, what's better than 4 blades? 8 blades? So these ones are much smaller by comparison, but I'm wondering if they'll get any lift. I think Lego usually uses these for like underwater vehicles, so maybe it'd perform better in water than in the air, but we're still trying it. This one might work good because it's really, really light. Oh, this one faces the other way. Never mind, I screened it the wrong way. Okay, here we go. Yo, how far did that might be the best one yet. Ouch, that like rolled on me, bro. So even though this one flies, I think its propellers are too small for this because it's still doing the thing where it will just barely go over and then fall. So if Lego made a bigger version of this, that would basically be perfect. All right, just to see if anything happens, I'm gonna try out this super tiny one. You can see the propellers are barely bigger than the axle hole. And we'll just try this one here because I don't know if it'll even do anything. Wait. What? Was that from lift or was that from being knocked out? Yo, it might actually be flying. Yeah, that's definitely flying. There's no way, bro. Okay, I thought it was flying for a second, but now running it backwards so it's pulling down on itself, it flings out that way too. So I think it's just the shaking that's knocking it out. Now these propellers all have one thing in common, and that's that they're really, really small. So let's use a massive one. I made this for a video not too long ago, and it's a windmill, so as this spins, this motor receives electricity from it. So all we have to do is face it down, and it should give pretty good lift. It's just really heavy. And by the way, guys, this is probably the most risky one because each of these propellers propellers is like $9 a piece. They're expensive because they are literally the best propellers Lego makes for this. All right, so I added it to here and it's super hard to turn just because of how big it is. So I'm gonna remove this top layer of gears and just use these two, and it should hopefully give it enough speed for some lift. Well, let's see. All right guys, I think we're ready to test it. Just spinning it a little bit over here to make sure it run properly. There's so much downforce, like I can just feel it. It's like a super good fan. All right, well here we go. It's less of a grip for my hand now, it's hard to hold on to. I still can't get it to spin fast enough with these gears. I think I gotta shorten it to just one row of gears. All right guys, well I shortened it to just one, so it's only spinning 5 times the speed that I'm actually spinning it. So let's see what happens. Wait, did that fly? It did spill my gears everywhere. All right, we're trying again, but this time I'm gonna have it level so you guys can see it. Okay, what was that? Was that flinging out or flying out? I think it might be it flinging out, not even gonna lie. I have an idea to make this easier on me to crank though. I can shorten this big gear to an even smaller gear. I think this is a 24 tooth gear. So 24 to 8 would be 3 times the speed that I crank it is the speed it goes. But this should make it easier for me to crank. Oh, that's way easier to crank, okay. Okay, that is definitely getting lift, but it's flinging off and just hitting it. That's not good. So since I can't get enough speed with this, I think we should try adding a motor. All right, so this is either gonna end up being a really good idea or a really bad idea. We'll just have to see what happens. All right, we're hooked up to power and ready to try this out. The nice thing about the motor is it gives me another handle to hold on to. All right, this is speed 1 on here. It's like 5 speeds. 2, 3. I can really feel this in my hand. 4. It did something. Yeah, at 4, it's starting to take off, so we're gonna go straight to 6. I don't like that noise, bro. Dang it, I think it's too heavy. All right, so just to show you guys what's happening, this is speed 3. It doesn't get lift quite yet, but as soon as I switch to 4, you can see the lift kick in. See how it slowly will go up like that, and then the gear just grinds. If we put it full speed reverse, you can see how fast this could go, and this is a pretty good fan. Once it reaches the certain level, I'm just gonna like chuck it in the air sort of. It's level 3, level 4. Yeah, that didn't work. So the big one definitely gives a ton of lift. I just can't get up to the speed to give it enough lift to take off. So far we only made pieces fly that Lego never intended to fly. But what about the pieces that Lego did? This is an old Lego Bionicle disc launcher. So the disc sits on there, and then instead of using a crank like we've been using, they use rip cords. Let it rip! Isn't it like a Beyblade thing? So yeah, with this, you can pull it out super fast and it can get lift right away, which I would have used a ripcord type thing for these, except I don't have a ripcord that's compatible with regular Lego gears. You can see just how much smaller the tread is on these. Let me know in the comments if there is any ripcords that are compatible with regular Lego gears. But yeah, let's try this one out. Yo, that works so much better. All right, let's try this. Yes. Did you see that, bro? It literally touches the ceiling when it flies. It's crazy. But then again, this thing is so light. It's probably lighter than a Lego stud. Okay, let's try this again. There we go, clean. Did that go behind the couch? Oh, that went downstairs. Well, gotta go get that. Now, this ripcord thing is cool and all, but it's not that impressive when you're just flying like the lightest Lego piece ever. So what if we could fly a minifigure? Well, I got this. All right, before opening this, let's clean off this table. All right, so this is a Lego Ninjago Air Jitsu set. This one to be exact. So the funny thing about this is I used to have this set and I don't know what happened to it. It like just vanished. So I reordered the set. So this is kind of nostalgic for me. And just to show, I still have my instructions from that one. So now I could finally build this set again. So the set, as you can probably see, is flying and there's a minifigure inside. So this right here is the actual propeller piece. Pretty interesting there. It's not even flexible. Like solid plastic. Remember when I was talking about earlier if I was wondering if there's any rip cords that were compatible with regular gears? Well, I think I just found it. I think it's like perfectly compatible. And this bag must have the minifigure and all the parts. There's not very many parts to this set. I actually do still have this minifigure, so I'll do this guy too. But the rest of this set, I don't have, so let's build it. All right, you got the handle built. This is basically the only build part of this. Let me put the minifigure in here, and then there's this little like cover for him. Interesting. Probably holds him in, actually. Yeah, he just is loose in there. We put this in and slide it to lock it in place. That feels like it's gonna come out. Maybe not. I'm realizing how small this handle is. Like back in the day, it probably wasn't a problem for me, but literally like those two fingers are the only things holding on. But yeah, let's go fly it. All right, guys, this set came out in 2015. So it's almost been 10 years since I first did this. I don't know how high this is gonna go, so should probably watch out. Shoot, bro. Leave a dent in the ceiling. Okay, we're gonna go a little less powerful because this thing zooms. So we're just gonna like have it hover for a second. Yeah. Oh my. That thing smacks against the ground. It's kind of crazy that it's flying a minifigure though. Like this is definitely the most efficient one so far. Maybe I should have tried to catch it. Last one. Gotta make this one good. I don't want to hit it too hard though. Maybe I'll do it from the ground and then have it launch up. I think I'm realizing why Lego stopped making these because it seems kind of dangerous. Like I'm hurting myself with just this. It's literally already scratched from just using it a couple times. Like this thing is kind of lethal, not gonna lie. Like if this thing's spinning and I get my finger in here, that is gonna hurt. But I mean, it flies a minifigure. All right guys, well I think we made every piece we tried successfully fly except the really small propeller. So that's good. If you guys have any ideas to improve some of my contraptions or add on to it, let me know in the comments because we might make a part 2. But yeah, if you want to check out another video similar to this, I'll have a link up here in the corner and down in the description. But as always, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell. My L's are getting more and more choppy. Whoops. I'm trying to take a thumbnail, bro. Where did it go? Shoot, oh shoot. All right, we're back. Yo, I could enjoy this for a minute.